Hello everybody, good morning to a race day here at Adrenaline RC. We've got some club racing going on today, and we're gonna have some fun playing with our toy cars. I figured, why not do a little vlog today? I'm gonna do some racing with my e-buggy that is sat behind me here, as you can see. And we're gonna have fun playing toy cars with some buddies. I've got my man Lee Setzer over there in the background, and then I believe Ethan Mechanic will be here. So we've got some good competition today. Gonna see what we can do. Threw some water on the track last night, and thankfully it didn't freeze in the lovely freezing weather that we got. So we're gonna see how today's goes. I've got two sets of tires broken in. Got a set of silver Dirt Web 2s and overdoses. I think I'm gonna do the Dirt Web 2s all day. A little bit different of a format than what we are used to, which is going to be 2 rounds of qualifying, and they're going to be top 3 consecutive. So basically the reason for that is our indoor track is a little bit tighter. So by doing that, it makes it to where with A-scale cars, because there's not so much room for passing, if you come up on somebody comes up on you, you wreck whatever it is, it doesn't just completely ruin your run. Now, it is so to be qual points though. So it'll be top 3 consecutive for each round, do it at a qual point, and then that will of course seed you for a single 8-minute A main. We got batteries charging up here. I gotta clear off some video from my little overhead cam so we can of course watch the driving around the track, and we're gonna see how today goes. Got a new pinion gear on here, so this is probably gonna be really loud. Yeah! Break in that gear, baby.
Alright, you can go. You can take around.
It sounds so terrible. Oh God. That's broke.
Make it hard to try to get in 3 laps. Pretty good first lap. Seconds left, 23. I knew where you were going. I know you did. All right, you're gonna catch the last man. Bring him in, bring him in. You're gonna catch to be our last man out. He's coming down the straight now, making the turn, making the numbers, and that is the end of the round.
Well, everybody, that was a interesting first round. So as you'll hear in the video, I put a new pinion gear on, so I was screeching for the first portion of it. Then I decided it would be a good idea to overjump the step on, step off, to which I inevitably cased extremely terribly and then blew my front camber link to pieces. Here's the little piece of it there. But now, I didn't get the repair done on video, but I ran inside, I threw a new camber link end on the car, made it back out just in time to get 3 laps in, and I was able to go P2 for the round. I think it was P2. So happy about that. My tires have a little less wear in now compared to what they would have, but not terrible. Good to start out the day with that good old, adrenaline rush in true fashion. So we're gonna get tires cleaned up, batteries charged, and we'll see what we can do in round number 2.
Watch the bottom of the table, watch the bottom of the tabletop in the middle. All right, we're cool. We set the on top at 55.2, Ethan 56.4, Artisan 56.5, Mallory 58.9, Stein 1 minute, 0.7, and Jay Briggs is 1 minute lap. 1 minute and 7 seconds. Yeah, I know, it's always a mess. We're always messing with it. Oh, man down and on and off. And he's through. Minutes and 30 seconds in. Reset is still on top at 55.2. 9. That's not going to 55.44. Even again, 56.48. Devon Mallory, 58.95. Jay Grayson, 1 minute, 0.2. Justin Stein at 1 minute, 0.7. Three and a half in, 3.5 to go. Final 2 minutes to go. One second still at 55.24. Hardison 55.41. Ethan McMahon 56.48. Javon Mallory at 58.8. Jay Draper 1 minute point 1. Left assign Smith Better at 1 minute point 5.
Alrighty guys, round number 2 check-in here. We feel a lot better in that run than we did the first round. Tires got a little more wear in them now, got a little more sauce in them. I didn't get to do a whole lot of break-in runs on these before race day, so I imagine that probably is the reason why I felt a little bit more on top of the track than before. Lap time wise feels pretty good. I did end up having to swap to a smaller motor. I didn't go over this earlier in the day, but I did have to go to my 1900 earlier this week because I just had some issues with my other motor. Doesn't feel like it has nearly as much pop, even though I went up on gear. Obviously it's not gonna have as much pop, it's a smaller motor, but I wanted the top end to be a little more similar, which is why I went to the bigger gear. But I mean, lap time wise is probably about where it needs to be when it comes to the top end of things for that run. I think Lee went a little faster with like a, I think it was either like a 54.2 or a 55.2, and then I was like half a tenth behind, so definitely feeling a lot better. But we are still a little work in progress. Better than the first round, still feel a little out of it, so we're gonna see how we feel in the warm-up for the main later today. We only get 1 lap, but hopefully with the tires back into a better window, maybe sun starts going down, moisture comes back on the track, it'll come back to me a little bit more. But a good qualifying session. I feel, like I said, a lot better because I was able to get a lot closer to Lee in that run, but we still got just a little bit more to go. I did do a rebuild on my center diff. That is what gets the most abuse on the car because of course it's directly connected to the motor. I think that also helped as well. The oil was pretty shot in it, so it's nice getting a fresh set of oil in it. So we'll mount these tires up, throw a little sauce on them, get our batteries ready to go, and see what we can do. Even if I can't drive the best, hopefully, you know, I just back down my pace a little bit, get back into the consistency end of things, and can just hit my marks and be all good to go. But we will check back in after the main. It's an 8-minute run. It's a one and done. So we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we can maybe come away with a W for today. Good luck, everybody.
All right, looks like we have all our drivers, we have all of our marshals. No passing until you cross the start line.
I'm gonna blow out turn 3.
perfect. Alright, catcher. Dan Hardison up over the roller in the front. To the skip. In the back. Already making their way past. We got a chance in the 3, Tyler Mack in the 4. Wayne in the 5. Carolina, 3 seconds to the heart, Stephen Mechanic, Stanley Schaefer, Tyler Mack, Jake Raker, Justin Stein, Dwayne and Bond, who is out. Sector with an 18-2, Hardison with an 18-3, Mechanic with an 18-7, and Schaefer with an 18-9. Those are our 18 clubs. to go. 2 minutes to go. Our leader on the stick double in the back. Number 2 on the stick double. Very back now, up onto the tabletop in the center. And we switch back and onto the roller. No super close battles at the moment.
I don't know what just happened there.
Spencer takes the win. Artisan is 2, Mechanic 3, Gaper 4 now.
Well, everybody, everything is done and dusted. It is the end of the day here for our points race 405, our little club race we had. And main-wise, I feel like overall I drove pretty good. What you'll see in the video is that, unfortunately, I didn't have any, run-ins with, taking out or anything, but I did get held up with traffic a little bit. So that did kind of hinder my performance some. I don't know if I would have been able to compete with Lee at the front of the pack. Lap time wise, I was pretty similar. I don't think I would have gotten around him, but it would have been nice to at least have been a little bit closer to him. But that's racing for you. You get what you get, and you just push on as well as you can. Throughout the majority of the race, it didn't seem like once we got through that initial bit of traffic, it seemed like the gap stayed pretty stationary, which is why I'm saying I don't think that I would have beat him necessarily, but I think I would have been a little bit closer, and that would have made me feel a little bit more warm and fuzzy inside. Now, the other thing that did happen at the very end of the race, I'll spin you guys around here. This guy is nice and spinny because, see if we can focus on that. You may be able to see it on here, probably not, but it is pretty worn down. Now, I'm not going to say that this breakage was the car's fault in any way because, well, I knew it was super worn out going into the weekend. I knew I was kind of on borrowed time. From that is the original drive shaft that was in there from when I built the car, and let's just say I've done a couple of packs with it. So I knew I was on borrowed time, and it lasted, a super duper long time in the grand scheme of things. It did break on the very last lap, which was unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it didn't make any difference for my finishing position. Just a little bit of unfortunate timing at the very, very end. But like I said, I'm not going to fault the car on that at all. That was literally just, I wanted to see how far I could go before it did eventually break, and well, now we know. This is how far it went. I have no clue how many packs I have on the car at the moment, but let's just say it is a lot. It's got to be at least 50, 60 packs. I have no clue. There were some days where I literally got 10 or 11 runs in on a couple days in a row. So it's probably even more than that. So I'm pretty satisfied with how long that lasted. But this does mean that it is going to be time now to put a fresh driveline in the car, get that broken in for the last points race, which is coming up right at kind of like the end of December. And hopefully we can get everything rallied up to try and battle with Mr. Lee, try and see if we can go for a win. Last week, or last points race, I had an unfortunate mistake on the first lap. This week, had a little bit of traffic, so hopefully the last race, everything comes together. I don't soil myself. I don't have any issues with other cars or anything. It is just a nice heads-to-head battle with Lee and I. So I'm looking forward to that. Little disappointing just on the day to not be right on the back door of him, but we are making progress. We are continuing to get faster and faster. Just got to keep cleaning up the little stuff because obviously Lee is a pretty spectacular driver, and if there's any sort of mistake or mishap in the run, that's game over because he's just that good. So we're working hard. We're getting closer and closer to maybe one day be able to compete with him, but we still got a little bit of work to do. Thank you guys for joining me today. When this goes out, the Sparko Waffle is still live, so I don't have the truck with me at the very, very moment. It's out on the counter back there, but it is still live. We do still have like 20 or 30 tickets. So if you're interested in that, that is going to be down in the description below. Make sure you get a ticket. Then as soon as those tickets sell, we will go ahead and do our spin wheel. Shipping stateside is going to be covered if you are out of the main portion of the US, Alaska, Hawaii, or just in a different country. You would then have to pay for said shipping. But if you are stateside, then it is all covered. So thank you for joining me today as we continue working closer and closer to our goal. And we'll see you guys next week for an all-new video.